especially politically. I mean, until they can see what I see, whatever they see is real.
Okay. Um. Yeah. I lost it. I lost what I
I
was
mean,
thinking.
as many people that think that in their world, abortion is right, and it should be a right. It should be and others might see it a different way. You can't prove to either one of them that they're in what they believe is wrong.
Right. Right. So there, and then there goes again where the part where I said your perception is my reality, because those females that want to go get an abortion, got to go to another state or whatever, because other people's perception of what's a life dictates if they can have an
No,
abortion or not.
no, 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 no. Now, see, now that's where
That
you're tainting
becomes
the line. You
their
taint the
reality.
lines at that. You what? No, you taint the because I mean, facts are facts. I mean, a life doesn't have new definitions just because a different person sees it a different way. The truth is the truth. But your reality, or based on how you see the world, like I mean, I can't, totally now based on whatever the laws are, you're gonna have to abide by it or deal with whatever consequences that come along with it. But you know, a life is a life. I mean, when is a life not a life?
Okay. My point is that, you know, I believe there's all kinds of connections all over the place, and other people's perceptions and realities affects others. Affects ours. You
Yeah.
know, and it has an impact on it, and also kind of molds it in a way. Because it's like pressure. When something pushes on something, then there's going to be a reaction to it. Like it's like pushing into a bubble. So now the shape inside of it is different, you know?
Hmm.
And that's an outside pressure. The bubble is going along on its own, just chilling, and then it bumps into something and it uh, messes with its interior. So, and I think that's what happens with us as humans, and on a global scale. Uh, all of these different thoughts, minds, realities are impacting each other. So then, as a result, you end up with this culmination of thoughts that create the reality that we all live in. So then, that's the only real reality, is the one that's the culmination of everyone's realities.
I get you. Um, I think our definitions could be off a little bit, but I feel what you're saying. Because, I mean, like there are things that I can do that can affect your life, and, the opposite, things that you could do that could change my life. But I guess where I was having the hang up and what was all, everything that was said, I think is mostly from the you know, like I guess the way you said it, like somebody else's, because I'm looking at it more, like in a more of a mental thing, like somebody's perception, somebody's perspective. I'm sorry. So yeah, somebody's perspective can, change my reality, but I guess is that more hypothetical? Like, I mean, that's more of a
Well, I'm just talking about it in the overall sense because, like I say, the culmination of these perceptions. So, and we have to deal with this as our social construct of humans, because we have to deal with other humans We can none of us can really survive on our own. We're not that kind of an animal. You know, we're not that kind of a being to be able to exist solitary. That's not our nature. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
that's what they're trying to do to us. But no, I mean, I'm one of those that like God could have stopped at one of us if it was only meant to, if we was meant to be alone, But
And but we act like it. We
we
drive in
keep
traffic
multiple.
like it. We behave
Well,
like
I believe a lot of these things are supposed to happen because I mean, if nobody died from accidents and you know just weird shit like, I mean, where would the overall population be then? Like if we didn't have, like if everybody lived their full, let's just say there's a true, let's just say 90 years old, 80 years old, whatever number that's supposed to be a average lifespan. Um, if everybody made it to their 90s or 80s, whatever it is, what where would we be as a society if people wasn't always dying from and not just from natural causes, like from effed up stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like
well,
we
that's
would.
nature. And that's what he was talking about in the video. Let me read Doc's comment. It says, cancel culture and the changing of dictionary definitions is a good example of perception altering reality.
Oh wow! Now that I'm all over. He said a mouthful right there. That's. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, of course, both. I know you study linguistics and the denotative and the connotative linguistics. So I mean, that's, and obviously Doc does as well. But um, it's it's crazy, bro. Like some of these things. I mean, just the idea, the thought, like shit. Like I mean, just why they want to put chips in our kids.
Yeah.
Some people are like, oh, I can't wait, and and then there's others, I guess, that's more like myself. That's like, you don't get the fuck out of here.
Let me read Doc's comment. He says 45 telling people to drink bleach is an altered reality based on social and news media that directly changed the statement, but people believe he actually said it. And he says the Mandela effect is a disagreement in the remembered reality. Dun dun dun. I want to ask you this, Pat. So, like, because I'm thinking about this green screen that I have with the people with the blindfolds on, and
Hmm.
I think about like, so what if a person is daytime and they put on a blindfold and then they say it's night? So what my point is, what do you do about the person who completely disregards what's happening right in front of them and claims a reality that's basically the opposite of what's happening? And you can't tell them anything different. Like I say, if they have on a blindfold, it's daytime, it's dark to them in their eyes, it's nighttime. Can't tell them nothing different.
I guess you know that's where, I mean, because we live those realities day to day. I mean, like we live in the same world. We deal with some of the same things, but people just see it totally different. And like I mean, like I said, for me, politics comes up a lot. So like for me to experience something and somebody else experience the same thing, whether it's like they walking right next to me, just because of their upbringing, because of the way they were programmed, the way they think, only allows them to see certain things, or their ability to see things in a way that I guess I'm not trained to see, because I've never gotten to the point where I think that I'm better. I mean, I do think I'm right, but at the same time, like for that person, whatever is going on, and they think that whatever it is, how they're seeing it, no matter how much you argue with them, you know, I mean, even with all the reasoning in the world, like they not, that's just how they see. That's just the way they see it. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's just something that has to be. I mean, it's pretty much something that we just have to accept or drive ourselves crazy. And that doesn't
Doc
matter.
says
And it doesn't matter what side you lean to or you believe more. But
insanity is what I really focusing on. Doc says we vote them into office like the rest of them. He was talking about the wearing blindfold and saying it's nighttime when it's daytime. Um, yeah, sanity is the thing. So this is what I'm asking. So like, okay, we're talking about perception, we're talking about reality, So what we are really talking about is sanity. We're talking about sanity right here,
oh wow.
because that's the basis of this. Because okay, so you don't fit into society, you don't understand society, you're not going along with the rest of the crowd, then you are insane. You understand what I'm saying? So there
You
again
just
goes
hey
your
say bro, stop.
perception.
You trying to why are you trying to express my life on this pod
I'm
on
telling you,
this
man, and it's mine too. But look, and it goes back to what I was saying about your perception is my reality. So now, because you have this group of people who's seeing the world in this certain way, totally insane, and you over here saying some sanity stuff, you are now insane, and it's as a result of their perception, and they are the majority. So who's right?
now who is they?
The majority, the zombie robots walking around thinking that this
Mm,
plastic world is real.
mm, okay. Well, you know, you can only win for so long if it's really, if you're going against nature, if whatever you're perceiving and, these things that's going on in your head, if they're really off, like nature is going to let you know. Like, I mean,
But that's
you
the
have
reason
to.
why we're detached from it. Look how detached we are. We're in our homes. We're in these squares. We're looking at squares. We don't.
But it's never detached from us. Like it
We
always has an expectation from us. And but the further we move away from that idea of of the highest form of technology that already exists, which is the universe, like when you detach from it and you know
we're not living in it. And look, you was talking about your reality and where you are in space and time. So right now in space and time, I'm sure you are not, the temperature of the room that you are in right now is not even close to the temperature that's actually outside. You get
mm-mm,
what I'm saying? That there goes a huge uh detachment from nature right there. And I'll say this, your feet are probably not touching the actual earth. There goes
no, not
another
at the moment.
there goes another detachment, and we can go on from there. So then there's an isolation that's happening. There's a separation, a membrane that's keeping you away from the actual reality of things that's happening. Like earlier when I was talking about, I don't know, were you here when I was talking about the animals and they're eating the animals, and people are so horrified. They see an animal eat another animal and they're like, oh my God, that's so terrible. That's so sad. But then they go to HEB and they buy a steak and they take it home and they eat it with their fork and their knife all elegantly. You get what I'm saying? So, but they don't realize that they're doing the same thing. That animal had to get slaughtered. You think the animal wanted to die, the cow that you're eating? He was like, hey, just make me into a steak. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's how that went. But we are completely detached from that because we go to HEB and we buy the steak already ready and made for us. So then we see the animal and we say, "Ah, he's an animal. He's a brute. He just slaughtered that animal and just ate him with his hands and mouth, like, and ripped him apart. Ah, he's an animal." You get what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
This is our detachment. Let me read Doc's comment right quick. He says, "Just because I'm a sociopath doesn't mean I'm a bad person." And he says, "And it brings no harm. Do as thou will, pagan saying. And it brings no harm. Do as thou will." I think that's fucking how everybody should live. I think that's what the hell the mantra of life really is. Like, as little harm as you can, but you have to eat. And there's competition in the universe for resources and life, period. And like he was talking about in his video, if it wasn't for that, then we'd be swimming in salmon. You know, the way the universe is the way it is for a reason. It's not meant for everyone to make it, if you will. And there goes what makes the beauty of life. The precious moments that we're supposed to cherish as the universe is witnessing itself, becoming aware of itself, experiencing. I think that's all we're supposed to do. I think I got off track. His comment, "Damn it, you Doc." Ah! Totally switched my mind frame with that comment. Thank you, God, for this day we have lived, everything in our life, our health, our family, the guidance you have given us, allow us guidance to the path of righteousness. Amen.
Really, I'ma get that bitch. Revenge is a dish best served cold. She took my son, now my soul is cold. He took my daddy, now my soul